everybody. Welcome to Pink Shade. It is Thursday, so we're going to talk about pop culture and Bravo. And I've got an expert today. His name is Jason Zeffir. Am I saying that right?
You're saying that right.
Okay. Jason Zeffir, and he is a pop culture expert and a Bravo expert, I would say.
Yes, definitely. I love Bravo. Real Housewives of New York City is not only one of my favorite Bravo shows or my favorite housewife entry into the franchise, but it's one of my favorite all-time shows. It's a comfort watch. If I'm ever homesick, I am putting on like season 6 of Real Housewives of New York.
Do you live in New York?
I do live in New York. I've been here for like 20 years.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, you are also a writer.
I am a writer. Yes.
And
I wrote.
you've written a really good book called Zombies of the Upper East Side. Okay. Tell me about this book because it's like a campy, it's like a take on these like Upper East Side, like fancy ladies, but then there's like a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, so it's a horror comedy. It's definitely campy in all the best ways. I really lean
Mhm.
into that. Um, yeah, it's about an Upper East Side lady. Her name is Charmaine Starling. She's kind of a typical kind of society lady. She married into a lot of money, but she's going through a divorce. Her husband cheated on her.
Mm,
He has separated. He's holed up in a suite of rooms at the Carl Hotel with his
nice.
mistress,
Mm,
and so they're going through a divorce. She didn't have any money in the beginning, so it was all him and his family, and so now they're trying to make sure that she doesn't leave the marriage with anything. So she also has like that stink on her of she's gonna be broke. So
yes.
so all the Upper East Side ladies, she's a little bit of a pariah now. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, if she wasn't already just stressed out about not, leaving her marriage with nothing and maybe going back to Yonkers, which is where she was originally from, God forbid. If that wasn't bad enough, the Upper East Side is painted as a place where all kinds of weird stuff can happen because it is a
Mhm.
little bit of a weird place. I think it has the highest propensity or population of billionaires per capita square mile than anywhere else in the world. So it's a very,
Really?
yeah. So it's a very, also like Park Avenue is like billionaires row. So it's like the
Mhm.
highest number of billionaires to exist anywhere in the world in like such a small pure place.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if all that wasn't bad enough, there's some weird things going on in the background in the first half of the book. People are getting sick. There's like another sort of illness going on. Bodies are missing from the morgue. And then like in the middle of it, she wakes up and it's a full-on zombie apocalypse. So it's kind of funny watching these kinds of ladies kind of like fight against, the zombies. And they're a little bit scrappier than you would think.
Well, isn't that always the case with our
Yes.
housewives, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Um, yeah, and there's a character in the book whose name is, oddly enough, Margot Payne, not to be confused with Mary Payne.
Yes.
But
Yes.
as I read the book, I was like, "No, wait a minute. I don't want my name to be so closely associated with this gutter rat lady."
Ah, well, the interesting thing about that character in particular, like she is her name is Margot Payne. She was married to a doctor. She divorced. She's sort of like a warning to what
Yes.
could happen to Charmaine. Now,
Mhm.
what's interesting about that character, they call her the Upper East Side Spitter. And that's based on a real person. There was a real person on the Upper East Side who was with her shopping carts. She was a unhoused individual, and they ended up finding, and she would like spit on children or, sort of like young upstarts. She was not a happy lady.
Wow.
And then they ended up finding out that she was divorced and she had had a lot of money at one point. So I sort of, it's a minor character in the story, but when I was writing the book, I read and I watched everything to do with the Upper East Side. So I tried to absorb as much as I could, and I had heard that story, and I just wanted to incorporate it in some way into the book.
Okay, well, it unfortunately is very close to my name, but that's okay. You didn't know
But
me at the time, so I
no,
don't take
no,
it
no, no.
personally.
And I love the name Payne too. because it can mean so many things and it can be taken literally, not literally. Like I really like it.
Well, it's a family name in my family, obviously, that's why I've got it, but, there's Payne Stewart, there's, was a famous golfer, there's Payne Lindsay, who's a famous podcaster, and I have a nephew that said his next child, he wants to name the child Payne as a boy, and I was like, "I'm here to tell you, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be
Yeah.
rough. It'll be rough to have that name, but go for it. Go for it."
Yeah.
Okay, now you have got a very, popular Instagram. I'm always obsessed with people who get, like, a huge following on Instagram because 'cause I'm out here, like, whoring myself out for every follower.
Yeah, well, I feel like I'm in that sort of box now because a lot of things have changed over the last few months. When they had that big purge, I lost, I don't, not a crazy amount, but like 1,000 followers, and my growth sort of stopped, and it stopped right when I was launching the book. So
Oh gosh.
that wasn't great, but
Mhm,
it's okay. I still have a lot of followers.
mhm.
I got those because I do things like right now I'm doing 100 Days of Buffy because I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer and I was devastated when Hulu canceled the reboot.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so I do things like that. I've had like Martha Mondays where I do some sort of post about Martha Stewart because I love her.
yeah.
Funny Lady Friday because I love funny women. They're probably the people that have inspired me the most of anybody. Yeah, so things like that. And oh, also, I think it's, and I just literally saw this yesterday, so it's like fresh in my mind. Every so often, somebody pops up, and I'm like, wait, they follow me? So yesterday, it was Wendy McClendon Covey follows me. I'm like, what? When did that happen?
I love her.
I love her so much. I
I
love
love
her.
her.
Yeah.
That's cool. Now, Sonia Morgan commented on your book. Does she follow you?
She does not follow me. Oddly enough, not many of the New York housewives follow me. I think only Jules Weinstein, who was on one season, but
Yeah,
I
of
I
course.
really liked her. She follows me, but none of the other OG Roni women, which is a little disappointing because I love them so much. I'm so
Mhm.
excited for the Golden Life coming out. I love them so much that they may have worked their way into my book.
Mm.
There
You'll
are
have
a
to
lot
you'll have
of,
to read it to find out, I guess.
yes, you will have
Yeah.
to read it to find out, but I find it very interesting that Sonia Morgan, who doesn't follow me, commented on my book post when I announced the book saying congratulations. She also liked a bunch of other posts, but I find it very interesting because there may be a character in my book whose name is Sylvia,
Uh-huh.
and she might live on the Upper East Side, and
Mhm.
she might live in a crumbling townhouse. She might also be allegedly broke.
Mm.
She may have a daughter, and she may be divorced from a very old man who left her for her friend.
Does she have a storage unit full of old Birkins?
She sold them already.
Okay.
She doesn't have a bag to her name. She
Does she
uses
have
a Dwayne Reed. She
a
uses a
basement full of
Dwayne Reed. Yeah, her basement. You don't want to go in the basement.
no Crisco, no basement
No,
full of
no,
Crisco.
Krista.
Oh, so funny. Okay, now Sonia Morgan. Now let's talk about I keep calling it the golden years. Is it called the golden life?
The golden, the golden life, right? The
Okay,
gold.
the new Roni spinoff on E!
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The golden life, like the
First of
Golden
all,
Girls.
yes, but first of all, like, when is it coming? Because now they're adding, like, Margaret and some other people, which I love, and Candace Bushnell, like, great, but I
Yeah.
I I assume they're coming in as, like, a friend of, like, they're just, like, letting us know that they're coming in as, like, side characters to visit, but when are we getting this show?
Okay, so from what I've read and from what I understand, filming went really well. So
Mhm,
E wanted to add some more episodes, and it was summer in the Hamptons, and Ramona and Luann are already there. So then they had the opportunity to add Margaret Josephs. I guess she had originally been in talks about being on the show,
mhm.
but she was on some other show on
Yeah,
Amazon that's coming
mhm.
out.
Yes.
So I guess she couldn't have been in it then. I think she actually makes sense. I wasn't like a huge fan of her in New Jersey, but she has established relationships with Ramona and with Luann. And so I
Yes,
think, and Dorinda. And so I think that makes sense. I'm totally okay with that. Candace Bushnell, I love. Sex and the
of
City was
course.
also an inspiration to the book because the early seasons are very centered on the Upper East Side. I mean, they're part two of my book is called Scourge in the City. So, there are definitely references to that as well. So I'm excited to see her. So, from what I understand, filming went really well, so they wanted to add some more episodes during the summer. But I think we're getting it in the fall. I think it's a really quick turnaround. Maybe there will be a little bit of a break, so for editing. But I'm pretty sure we're getting this in the fall.
I would imagine they don't wanna go up against Ultimate Girls Trip because that's a little bit of the same audience, or, and maybe they wanna wait till the new Roni season comes out and give it a minute and, piggyback off of that, really, you
Yeah, I
know?
think I think it's a good time for it to come out regardless. And I don't think Ultimate Girls Trip, I think that comes out like August 10th or something like that.
Soon, mhm.
And there probably won't be a lot of episodes. If it goes by previous seasons, it'll probably be what, 6 episodes, something like that?
Yeah, I was gonna say 8. I can't remember though. Those are quick seasons and, everybody says that it'll be great, and I think everybody because we'll watch anything on Bravo, really. The problem is
Yeah.
gonna be sort of to get that audience to flip the channel over to E, I think.
Mhm. I mean, there's definitely buzz about it. People
Oh,
are
yeah.
excited to see it. People wanted the OGs to come back to Bravo,
Mm, I
for
did.
whatever reason. I did too. I freaking love that show. So I don't know. I don't know why Bravo didn't do it. What do you think about that?
Well, my question for you is, I'm sure you've seen the new Roni trailer for the new season
Yeah.
with, we've got Cy, we've got Jessel, we've got Carol Radzawell. That's it, right? Cy and Jessel and Aaron, and then
Aaron.
we have some new people and Carol Radzawell. Listen, I've been fooled by a trailer before where I've been like, "This is gonna be the best thing," and then it sucks. But I thought the trailer looked amazing.
I think the trailer looked amazing too. I thought it looked really good. I think I did not like the last 2 seasons. I watched them, so I
Same.
wasn't completely, biased, but I did watch them. The last season was really kind of dark and you know, it's
Mhm.
not I'm actually a little bit surprised that it even survived that, to tell you the truth. But yeah, I
Same.
think the trailer looks really good. I'm interested in seeing what happens. It seems like they may have been trying to be too much like the old Roni and the 2 seasons that they had. It does seem like maybe they're branching off a little bit more, which is sort of ironic because Carol Radzawell is joining.
Right.
But I'm interested in seeing her on the show. I always liked her.
Me
And we'll
too.
see. We'll see.
Me
And then
too.
Sai's going crazy about the Jeffrey Epstein things. And yeah, I don't think Carol expected that going into the show.
No, I didn't expect she thinks she'd be called out on the street for that, and Sia, of course, just like they announced she's getting a divorce, right as they were filming, so we always love a divorce during one of our Housewives seasons, it makes it spicy.
Yeah, for sure. Cause she's like angry and Carol's gonna get it, it looks like.
Y'all, by now, I hope you've seen my ad on Instagram for my perfectly snug smart topper for my mattress. Was it cringy? Yes. Did it get the point across? Yes. You guys, the Perfectly Snug is a mattress pad that cools you while you sleep. It is a dream for us ladies of a certain age, and let's just say it, menopausal women who sleep hot, okay? But my husband also sleeps hot, and he loves it too. The Perfectly Snug is an air-based mattress topper that blows air on you. It's not water-based. I used to have a chili sleep. It was so gross because you always had to clean it out. So I'm thrilled with this no water option. This thing has dual zones, so Dave and I can choose our own cool settings. You can do a cold burst. You can do a pre-warming option, like if it's, the wintertime. You can even warm your feet if you need to. It has so many options. You guys, there's also a 30-night guarantee. So you literally have nothing to lose. Please try it out, okay? You're going to try it out and use my code. Go to perfectlysnug.com and use code PINKSHADE at checkout for 15% off. You guys, it is an amazing product and I wouldn't steer you wrong. So go to perfectlysnug.com and use code PINKSHADE at checkout for 15% off, and you're going to sleep cooler and you're going to thank me. Y'all, you know how much I love Quince. They are the best summer pieces. These are the ones you reach for over and over again. And right now, I am obsessed with this white linen popover shirt. I'm wearing it right this minute. I wore it for all my recordings this week. It is so easy to throw on. And I have some white linen shorts to go with it. It's an adorable set. It's my new thing. You know, they have 100% European linen, their pants, dresses, tops. These are the pieces that you reach for all summer, and they start at just $32. You know, they have amazing soft denim, they have organic cotton sweaters, and of course, they have that gorgeous silk and Mongolian cashmere. Did you guys also know they have jewelry? Did you know they have maternity clothes? Did you know they have luggage and also bedding? You guys, they have so much great stuff, and they have the most amazing things for gifts. Everything at Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They work directly with ethical factories and cut out the middleman, so you're paying for exceptional quality, not brand markup. Make your summer wardrobe feel easier. Go to quince.com/pinkshade for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/pinkshade for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/pinkshade. And Canadian monkeys, let me know what you got. Um, speaking of divorce, Salt Lake City, we've got they're either filming or have wrapped, and I imagine we're going to be because they usually launch that in the winter. I feel like to go with the Salt Lake City
Snowflakes.
theme, yeah. But we've got three divorces going on there. We've got Bronwyn and Whitney and Justin are separated, and now we've got the Angie K separation. The Angie K just really like that took me down. I was upsetting.
Yeah, except when I watched the last season when they did have scenes together with their child, like I think you can see that there's a disconnect. I think it probably became more of a friendship rather than like a romantic relationship. Um
Okay, interesting.
that's kind of like I thought I vividly sort of remember thinking that when I would watch those scenes. I was like, "Oh, there's not a lot of like there's no heat left it seems."
I see what you're saying, that they seemed more like because they are like business partners and they're raising their
Yeah.
child together, and I think, when they and I think this happens a lot when you have a new franchise starting, that I think the husbands are always pretty stunned when focus turns on them. Like, "Oh, wait, why is anybody asking what I'm doing?" Because it definitely happened with
Yeah.
Meredith and Seth. It's definitely happened with Bronwyn and Todd, and of course, Todd did not like that.
Oh no, he was
So
terrible.
Sean, I think, was very stunned to find that people were now chatting about his sexuality and this, that, and the other. So that wasn't great for their marriage, probably.
No, it probably yeah. Yeah, for sure, definitely not good.
Mary
Um,
Cosby's husband too, just it was like, "Nope, I'm out.
I know,
I
right?
I live in Florida now. Fuck this."
There's like no there's only Lisa's husband. Lisa's husband and Meredith's husband. They're the last one standing.
What did you think about Lisa's post with her and, John Barlow in, like, matching jeans and white T-shirts with their Vita tequila in their hand, being like, "Still standing strong."
I thought it was kind of bitchy, but like in the best possible way. Clearly, she must not be on good terms with Angie K right now, because
Mhm.
that's rubbing it in a little bit. But I wouldn't expect anything less from her. But I still love her.
I love her too. I thought it was not nice,
No, definitely
but
not nice.
Sorta like, "Haha, I'm still married and you're not." I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was very
So
sad about that, but it's gonna be a great season.
yeah, definitely. I like Salt Lake. I think it's interesting. I think they still have a lot of story left in them.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I'm curious what this new season's gonna be like because it starts filming like literally right after Mary's son
Yes,
passed.
so terrible.
Yeah.
It's that's a lot. Yeah, it is gonna be a speaking of dark, my god. Well,
Yeah.
um, so we've got Salt Lake. So are you watching OC? I mean, are you watching it? Or you hate watching it? Are you like me? I'm just like, I'll watch anything they give me, so I'm just watching it.
I'm watching it. OC is not a show that I've watched from the very beginning. I don't even think I found it until COVID when I was looking for other things to watch.
Oh, okay.
Um, I tried to watch the early seasons and I just couldn't because like the production value is like terrible and
Yeah.
it's so hard to watch. But I did go back and I watched up until when Shannon's first season. So there's a lot of like criticism about Shannon, but I've always
Mhm.
found Shannon to be a really interesting character.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so I'm watching it. Is it like the best show ever? No. I mean, it's not. But I mean, I like it. I'm interested in it. I'm glad that Vicky's back. I do find her to be like just an interesting individual as like a writer who looks at things like character wise. Thinks she's an interesting character. I don't know that she's somebody that I would like in real life, but I like watching her.
That's interesting because a lot of people have also been like, "We didn't need it. Why is Vicky back?" I was like, "It's the 20th season. They had to bring it back. It was a great story,
Yeah.
and it works, and she's delivering, you know, and, love or hate Vicky, and people get mad at me when I say this, she is the OG of the OC, and people will be like, "No, Gina was cast first." I don't care. Sh Vicky's the one that's been
No.
on the longest, you know?
Yeah, yeah, it's, like, nostalgic to have her back on. She's literally the OG of all of them. Like,
Mhm.
she started this, so, yeah, I think it was only fair to have her back on.
I completely agree. Did you have opinions on people had a lot of strong opinions about Gina Keogh doing a GoFundMe for her healthcare. I mean, in my mind, I'm like, if she doesn't have the money to pay for her healthcare, I don't think there's any problem with it. That's where we are in this country. But people are like, no, it's tone deaf because they went on a vacation to Tahiti. And I'm like, well, two things can be true, you know?
Yeah, I think it's complicated. We don't know the details of, her finances. Um, would I personally start a GoFundMe? No.
Mhm.
But, to each their own. Apparently she can't work now. She's a real
Right.
estate agent. She can't talk. Like she had part of her tongue removed. So I don't know what I would actually do in a situation like that. Um, yeah. So I mean, I don't fault her in it at
Yeah.
all. Like I hope she has speedy recovery and only good thoughts towards her.
God bless. It's terrible. Okay. Speaking of things that are dark and God bless and terrible, I am obsessed with the Valley. I love the Valley. I love
Yes.
everything about the Valley. I am upset to hear rumors that it's going to be canceled. At the very least, they've got to keep it around for Jax dating his ex-publicist and Michelle dating Dr. Dre. That's enough to give us another season right there.
Yeah, so The Valley is definitely my hate watch.
Okay.
Um, it's but I actually watched a couple episodes, like rewatched a couple episodes last night, and I was like, this is good. Like, I can't tell if I like it or it just like activates me in some weird way. I
Mhm.
think yes, there's lots of rumors about this being the last season. Um, and I think it'd be fine if it was the last season, quite frankly. But if it's not the last season, I think Jax needs to come back. I also think all of the men on that show should want Jax back because when he was on the show, you didn't see how bad all of them were. 99% of those men are terrible individuals. The only one that I can think of off the top of my head, and we don't see him very much, but he seems to be a decent guy and they have a good relationship, is Janet's husband, Jason.
Yep.
All the other ones are horrific, horrific individuals. Women should watch this show and be like, I don't think I'm going to get married. Like, they should all just go live in a commune, raise their children themselves, because if you were to look at these men as a sample of what's out there, no, why would you ever? And Kristen, I feel so bad for Kristen because she has this little child attached to her. She's going through postpartum, and Luke is the worst of all of them. I cannot watch that show and watch him without it makes me crazy. I am screaming at the TV. Like he makes me insane. And they wanted that child very badly. They wanted that child, and now that they have it, he's acting like a complete douchebag.
You think Luke is worse than Danny.
You know what? It depends on the week.
Okay.
But they're both horrible. They're both really, really bad. Um, Danny's really bad, but my opinion of Nina actually or Nia lately has changed when I originally watched it. Like I thought that she was definitely a lot sweeter in the beginning, but I'm getting
Mhm.
some like I feel like she's pulling the strings a little bit. Um and I think she's definitely covering for him in a lot of ways. And
Absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
she's covering for him in so many ways, and it makes me worried about her. Like, what is actually going on?
Yes, it makes me worried about her too because, she had a baby and then she had twins, and if that wasn't enough, they were like, "Let's just keep it going." I mean, and I understand a lot of young people were like, "Well, if we're gonna have kids, let's just knock it all out and make it terrible for 10 years, and then we'll be on the other side of it." But if you don't have a good relationship, I don't know how you're gonna get on the other side of it, and if your husband is lying constantly about his drinking,
Yeah.
let me tell you, you don't know this about me. My husband is 12 years sober. So this Nia and Danny thing is like super triggering for me because his behavior is so familiar to me. And her behavior is also familiar to me. The protecting and deflecting and look over here, don't look over here, you know? But when Lala called her a thug in a prairie dress, I was like, nailed it.
I know, right? Lala, you kind of definitely needed her to like pop in here and sort of like express her opinion because she does sort of say what no one else is saying.
Yes.
Um, so when you watch it, you can see Nia doing that.
She's
Definitely.
absolutely protecting him, and absolutely when he starts to spiral off, which I know that she just has to feel sick going into any event, knowing he's gonna be drinking, knowing what
Yeah.
it's gonna turn into, because she knows once he gets some drinks in him, I can't control him. I can't get him to, 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. She can't get him to focus because now he's drunk and now he's mad, and and Lala stands for everything he hates. Like single woman okay with her
Yeah.
sexuality, he can't stand that.
Yeah, he's terrible. Also, like, I know that they are on him a lot about his drinking, and I don't drink anymore. I wouldn't say that I was an alcoholic, but like a year and a half ago or so, I just realized it didn't work for me anymore. I
Mhm.
felt a little depressed afterwards, no matter how much I drank, and that might be where he is too. Maybe he's not a raging alcoholic, but he has an issue. There's an
Mm.
issue there. Also, he's doing this on camera. What is he doing when he's not on camera?
That's exactly the way he speaks to her makes you think if you're speaking to her knowing that you both have microphones on,
Yes.
how are you speaking to her when you take the microphones off? That nanny has seen some shit, you know?
Yeah, I also think that she's got some fight in her too. So I'd like to hear how she talks when the cameras aren't rolling and when she's not mic'd up too, because I don't think she puts up with nearly as much as people are thinking that she does. Or if she is putting up with it, there's a different side of her that we have yet to see.
I think that's right because we have seen it before when last season they were on the phone and she was like, "Let me tell you something. You go home and do this and then and you're like,
Yeah,
"Okay."
glimpses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
glimpses. Yeah, I think
there's
yeah,
glimpses of it.
yeah, I think that
Yeah.
maybe that's why he drinks. I don't know, I'm just kidding. Um, but it's interesting that you think Luke is worse because a lot of people have such strong feelings on Luke, and I did actually appreciate this week when they were in therapy and she said this on Watch What Happens Live, "I've told him when we're in therapy, say it, like, get it out while we're in
Yeah.
therapy. Don't talk to me like that at home." But for him to say, I wanted you to have this baby, but then I had never met pregnant Kristen."
Oh my god.
But then he's pushing to have another baby.
It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense to me. I love that scene though, and the therapist and Kristen.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna like beat his ass. That therapist like looked at her like, what? Yeah.
I love the therapist
And
is
they're
like,
supposed to be
"Whoa,
unbiased. Yeah. I
whoa,
know,
now we've
like
said
that.
it." Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So she even had a huge reaction to that. Yeah, he's terrible. I feel bad for Kristen, because she's like in it. She's got this small child attached to her, but I'm curious, you know, where will she be in 5 years? You know?
Yes, I'm excited for the reunion. I know they just filmed it obviously because they did some, like, looks of the reunion. I'm excited to see sort of where we are now because when you have just had that baby and I can imagine, especially for Nia, has had, like, back-to-back kids and it's all filmed, and that's why people don't like the show because they think it's dark, but in my mind, I'm like, it's really a real representation of that time in your life,
Yeah.
and, while we have people that age on Summer House, we've got people in the valley sort of like in it with like marriage and babies and I don't know. I find it fascinating. And I'll be very sad if they cancel it.
Yeah, like I said, I kind of hate watch it, but then there are times when I'm watching it and I'm like, wait, no, this is actually really good. And there's some real stuff happening here.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
yeah.
Now, question for you. What else are you watching? So if you're not watching like Bravo or sitting around waiting for the E show to happen, what are you watching?
I rewatch a lot of things. I watch a lot of movies. I write horror and comedy, and those are the kind of things that I watch. But I do love reality TV. I find it like I'm able to watch it and I can kind of like switch my brain off.
Mhm.
I find that it's the same way with reading. Like when I'm writing, I don't read a lot of fiction. I can read memoirs like anything, like a magazine or something on the subway or whatever, because I like people's stories and I like to absorb people's stories. But like fiction or something scripted, I'm a little pickier about watching or reading. Um, but there are things in the horror world that I'm very excited about coming up. Like there's a Crystal Lake series, there's a Carrie series happening.
I saw about the
Um,
Carrie series. That's interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm super excited about that. The new season of American Horror Story is following the Coven storyline, which was my favorite season.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about that. I started watching Real Housewives of London, and I think it's going well. I was very upset about Ladies of London being canceled because I loved it.
Beyond. I
Loved it.
listen, if they said to me, "We're gonna cancel The Valley or cancel Ladies of London," it would be a Sophie's Choice for me, but I would say, "Okay, we're done with The Valley. Give me more Ladies of London."
Yes, because
Yeah.
we're robbed. We're robbed of what could
Yes.
have happened with that show. It was such a great cast. It was so interesting. It made me want to move to London.
Yes.
Um, so Andy Cohen was talking about that it was the ratings. That's the reason why Ladies of London was canceled. Do you believe that? Because it took him a while to say that.
I don't know if I believe it or not believe it, but every person I know, every Bravo podcaster, every, Bravo influencer, everybody was obsessed with it. You didn't find
Yeah,
it like a lot of people are kind of hot and cold on OC, and you get a lot of people hot and cold about lots of things, but everybody
it was great.
universally loved the show. Yes.
It was great, and it was great because of the cast. I mean, there
Mhm.
wasn't a lot of drama happening. It just was like this sort of just a magical cast that they put together. Do you think so? There was rumors about Margot's husband potentially suing,
Mhm.
although she went on Jeff Lewis's radio show and said that that was not the case and that if it was the case you'd be able to find a lawsuit. So obviously a lawsuit wasn't filed, but do you think that potentially he threatened to sue? And then on
Mm.
top of that, they had, late Real Housewives of London potentially in the can to use on Peacock or Bravo as well. So, do you think maybe they're like, we'll just cut our losses? Like, I'm very fascinated on what happened. And I do remember like she's made a comment about going off of social media, but she literally went off social media like right before this came out, as though she like knew something was coming.
Yeah, I think the Margot of it is interesting, and it's also interesting that she went on Jeff's show, like, after it was canceled,
Yeah.
right? Like, because people were doing so much press before that, and she wasn't doing anything. Um,
Oh,
it would
she appeared while the show was airing. She did appear on Jeff's show also.
Okay, okay, so she appeared twice.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I found that it's also weird to me too that they had the cast. We had Mark, we had, Kimmy, we had almost every cast member was either on Watch What Happens Live, like bartender, or like sitting with Andy and doing tons of press and tons of podcasts and everything. So they were paying for all this PR, and then they still
Yeah.
canceled it.
Yeah, I feel like we're not getting the full story. Definitely not. I like the full story. I'd like
Me
to know
too.
what happened. I really loved Mark Francis on that show. I
Mhm.
know that there's been like a lot of talk because, Bravo's audience is women and gay men primarily, and there's been a lot of talk on how to incorporate like maybe a gay character into the Housewives. And while that wasn't the Housewives, I think that they did it brilliantly. Like he
Same.
totally fit in. He's a very interesting character. I mean, he lives in Oscar Wilde's flat.
Yes.
He's very interesting. Again, I don't know that I'd like him in person. He seems like a lot. But as a viewer watching something and a writer who's interested in characters, I found him very fascinating.
I completely agree, and then the whole thing with, Hecate dying, and we didn't get to
Oh,
see
I
it.
know. I know because
Devastating.
he drowned, right? He drowned in
He
the bathtub.
drowned.
He drowned in
He
the bathtub during the heat wave.
Yeah, and she said he was always so careful around water, and then he I was like, "Oh my god,
Oh,
it's like a
oh my
wild bird
God.
she found in her yard that she made her
Oh,
pet." You just can't make it up. You can't make it up. It's fascinating. Well, I hope with all the uproar about it, I kind of hope that maybe they'll sort of revisit bringing it back and sort of give us a Miami situation where they'll make us wait a little bit and then they'll bring it back with the same people, you know?
yeah, I think waiting would be a mistake though. That's the
Mhm.
problem. Like it was so magical right when it was filming. They should have picked up cameras right away. Unless like do you think because it's in London that it's an especially expensive show? I don't know. Is that more expensive than New York or Beverly Hills?
I can't imagine they just have
Yeah.
their team there that does it, you know?
They're not paying them barely anything, it's first
Oh,
season, so I
I'm
don't know.
sure. Real Housewives of London, I know that, I had a listener write me and said that they had already seen the 1st season because it's aired in England.
Yeah.
And they were like, "I gotta tell you, it's nowhere near as good as Ladies of London. I don't know what Bravo is thinking by picking this up instead of Ladies of London. It's just doesn't compare." I watched the 1st episode, and it kinda lost me, and so maybe I need to try again if you thought it was good.
I think it has promise. I think it's interesting. I don't think it's as good as Ladies of London, but I think
Mhm.
you can't really compare it to that. Um, I did see the trailer though, and Dorinda pops up, which I found very interesting.
Yes,
Um,
she doesn't want you to ever forget she lived in London.
No, never. And she's like, I forget that character's name. I don't have all the characters' names, but she is friends with the one who seems to be the most reserved. But in the trailer, she like loses her mind because there's, I think, like an American or there's like another Juliet who's joining in like episode 5 or something like that. And apparently, like she comes in and really starts stirring stuff up. So it
Mm,
would be interesting. It'll be interesting to watch these women who are so poised and like reserved and proper, like lose their minds because they're going to.
yeah, that's why I like Ladies of London.
Yeah.
Um, okay, I mean, I'm sure you did. What did you think of Real Housewives of Rhode Island, our newest franchise?
I loved every minute of it. Loved
Okay.
every minute of it. I have questions. I'd like somebody to do like a really in-depth interview because I want to know I piece some things together based on social media and what cast members have said, but I wanna know when was this cast? What
Mm,
was that process? Who brought who? Because it's perfect. It's perfect how it happened, but I have a feeling like it's been in the works for a long time. And from what I understand, it's like a 2-year thing.
mhm, yeah.
And like it's perfect. I don't know how. Especially, like, and I don't know, no offense to Rhode Island, but I had no idea about the personalities there, and just just the fact that they were able to piece together this brilliant cast, each one, there is no weak link. They're all great. And just the fact that they were able to do that makes me wonder, okay, where is Real Housewives of New Orleans? Where is Real Housewives of Austin? Where is it? Just made me open my brain to potential new franchises, which should also make established franchises a little bit worried. Because if you have Real Housewives of Rhode Island coming on and just like blowing it out of the water and everybody loving it, and you know it didn't cost barely anything for them to make it, none of them are making money in the beginning. Then you have, you know, casts like Orange County, which has been around 20 years now, or Beverly Hills, which costs a fortune, although that's more of a lifestyle show, so that might be exempt from this. But all these other shows that have been around for a long time, like, I don't know, like, it might be time to start retiring shows. What do you think about that?
That makes me sad, because, they did that to our New York, and we didn't like it.
No.
So, OC is a little different because I think generally, the fandom doesn't feel as strongly about the OC women as we did our OG New York ladies.
Yeah.
I think people just feel so strongly about that, the Luann, the Bethany, the Sonia, and even, Jill Zarin, even, God bless. And we feel so strongly about that. I am excited about the E! Show, but and I'm also excited about the new New York. I think, and as a New Yorker, you can speak to this, I think they shouldn't have named it Real Housewives of New York.
Yeah, that was their biggest mistake. It should have been, I mean, there's already In the City or The City or whatever,
Mhm.
but they should have called it something else. That was a huge mistake. Like, it
Real
shouldn't
Housewives of
be
Manhattan, just something.
something, or not even Housewives. It could have been like, I don't know. It could have been I think, well, they weren't all moms. I was gonna say maybe they could have gone back to the original idea of Roni and called it Manhattan Moms or something like that. I just think the mistake was calling it the same thing and not sort of refreshing the entry. So it's like, what is it? Real Housewives of New York season, whatever, but it's like going to be their third season.
Right. I didn't like that at all because they
No.
haven't earned that, season 16, 17. They were season 1, they were a season 1 cast, and that's what we should have done. Yes.
Yeah, I would be really pissed off if I was one of the OGs
Mhm.
for them to be on season 13 or 14 or whatever it is.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they're kind of rebranding New Jersey, and I haven't really heard any buzz either way. We know that Melania was in the news for, punching her stepfather allegedly, or her stepbrother, not sure. She punched somebody with the initials LR, and hope that'll play out, you know?
Yeah. I I'm kind of concerned about New Jersey. I feel like it's been a long time since filming.
Mhm.
And I don't know what that's gonna look like. I am happy that Teresa and Melissa seem to be on a better page, whether that's manufactured or not. I don't know. Maybe it took Teresa, a couple years pause and no paycheck to be like, I don't dislike you guys that much.
Yeah. I'm not a giant Teresa stan, and I hate that Louis, so I'll watch it just 'cause I wanna hate watch that red face monster, you know?
Well, yeah, Louis is definitely like a triggering individual. But I do, watching uh, the new Jen's show, I, Teresa, what I find interesting with her is as wild and crazy as she seems to be, and she's arguably like maybe one of the most volatile housewives that we've had.
Mhm.
Gia seems so well adjusted. Like her kids, I know Melania is kind of having a little bit of issues, but Melania arrived from the womb like that. Like Melania was a wild child from the moment like she was on camera. Like that's just her personality. Like that's just how she was born. But
Yes.
all her other kids and Melania too. Melania's not a bad kid, but Teresa's doing something right because she seems to have raised some really great children.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at it, Gia has had to be a parent,
Yeah.
and then Melania came along as a 3rd daughter into this, TV world, and then God bless Gabriella, we never see her, and she's probably the smartest one of all, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's yeah, I'm not a huge Teresa stan, but when you think about everything that she's put on TV, it's kind of miraculous, you know?
Yeah,
That's it's amazing what
yeah,
she has gone through on TV.
I can agree. Okay, now tell everybody about what they can do if they want to get your book, and also let me this is for real. I saw you post that somebody was reading your book on the subway. Was that real or was that your friend?
No comment.
Okay. 'Cause I saw that, I was like, "Now that would be really something to be in the wild and see somebody reading your book. That would
Yeah,
really be
definitely.
something." Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
a hot dude reading. Hot dude reading. Yeah,
That's that what more do you want on
I
your
know,
Instagram
right?
rather than hot dude reading?
Yeah,
Yes.
so you can find me on Instagram at Jason Zeffir. You can find my book, jasonzeffir.com, but it's available everywhere online.
Mhm.
You can also go to your local bookstore, and if it's not in stock, ask them to put it in stock. I released it independently. I started my own company after kind of severing ties with a very big agency.
Oh.
This was after publishers sort of wanted me to change the main character a little bit. They didn't find her to be likable enough.
Hmm.
But that's something that like female characters get a lot. The husband is cheating on the wife and like has, you know, his mistress in a hotel suite, but nothing about him. Nothing about him. Only
He's fine.
about, yeah, he's fine, but she's a little depressed in the beginning. And oh, can't she be more likable? Or she needs to be thinking about her children at every step of the moment. But so I decided to do it myself. I started my own company called It's Alive Books. I hired a cartoonist from the New Yorker to do my cover, which is really a beautiful cover.
I
His
love
name
the
is
cover.
it's
Yeah.
beautiful. His name is Dan Mistia, so he designed the cover. I hired editors. I'm doing all the marketing, and so I just kind of decided to do it myself. Reviews have been really great. It's a great summer read.
Yes.
Super entertaining. It's not the kind of book that's going to sit on your nightstand and like stare at you for 6 months. Like it's the kind of book that you're going to read on vacation. You're going to read it on the plane. You're going to read it over a weekend. It's a lot of fun.
I am taking the book to, we have a beach house. I'm gonna take it there and leave it there so that when people come, because I think it's a great beach read. So then when
Definitely.
people come, because a lot of times people will come to visit, they're like, "Oh, I don't have anything to read." And I'm like, "Well, I've got these choices." So I'm gonna take it because I think it's a great, a beach read as well. And I gotta tell you, there is a little bit of, horror to it, but it is very tongue in cheek funny, I think.
Yeah, so there is definitely horror to it, but it's not necessarily for people for that only like horror. Like
No, because it's campy.
it's super funny. Even, you know, it's zombies. So, you know, spoiler, there's some blood and guts and zombies eat people. Like this is what they do. This is what
Mhm.
they do. But I try to write it with a sense of humor. Um and you know, the response has been really good. The editorial reviews have been great. The reader reviews have been great. It's growing. I'm hoping that it pops off. I appreciate you having me on your shows to tell people about it.
Of course.
Um, yeah, so you can buy it online everywhere. You can go to my website, jasonzeffir.com. You follow me at Jason Zeffir, but also go to your local bookstore and ask for it. And if they don't have it in stock, that lets them know we need to order this because they can order it. It's available for every bookstore to order. I have a couple meetings actually at the end of the week for a couple big stores in New York City. And so, yeah, so I'm excited.
Well, fun fact, I used to work at a little local bookstore here in Alexandria, Virginia, and that was like there's a few favorite things about working there because I worked my regular job and I worked that part-time when I was in my 20s, and my favorite thing was on Sundays, the people that got the New York Times would come in and get their New York Times and read it in the store. They would sit in
Yeah.
armchairs and read it because you couldn't really get New York Times delivered to your house at that way back in the olden days. And what I really love too is people coming in and asking for books, and if we didn't have them, we'd have to go into our system and order them for people, and then we would always order 3, right? Because,
Yeah.
like, this person wants them, and now we'll have 2 on the shelf, and it was always great because it was a way to find out about books I didn't know about. because someone had heard of it some way and they wanted to get it from the local bookstore. So I think that's a hot tip to go by your local bookstore and ask people to order it. Yeah.
Yeah, and for the bookstores, because I'm in contact with like 3 large bookstores, if they're listening to this, carry my book because I'm
Mhm.
doing interviews and I can point people in to where they can buy the book in New York City. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so buy the book, stock
Yeah.
the book.
Do the book and try to buy local if you can. I'm
Yeah,
very into local booksellers. Okay, thank you, Jason, very much. And everybody, go buy the
thank
book.
you.
And I'll have his Instagram link here in the show notes, so you can click it. It's a good follow as well. Yeah, I'd say.
Thank you so much, Mary Payne.